Hello. Authorised by private acts of Parliament, Turnpikes brought much needed improvements to Britain's major road network in the 18th and early 19th centuries, when travel difficulties threatened to constrain the commercial opportunities offered by the new industrial age. The Turnpike Acts allowed a board of trustees to charge road users a toll and to use the revenue raised for maintenance and repair. At the time, most roads were a parish responsibility, maintained by what was known as statute labour, whereby householders had a duty to devote 4 days a year to carrying out roadworks or pay someone else to do it for them, an obligation widely avoided. The introduction of turnpikes brought substantial improvements in both speed and travelling conditions. Milestones were erected for the first time since the Roman period. Many of the surveyors and engineers employed by Turnpike Trusts were self-taught. One of the most remarkable was John Metcalf, known as Blind Jack, after losing his sight at the age of 6. Despite this disadvantage, a varied and active life saw Metcalf earning a living playing the violin, acting as a guide in his local area of Knaresborough in North Yorkshire, serving in the army during the Jacobite rebellion, dealing in horses, and from 1754 operating a wagon business carrying stones from Knaresborough to York, and later a coach service in the area. An Act of Parliament was passed in 1765 authorising a turnpike from Knaresborough to Boroughbridge. Metcalf was awarded a contract to construct a 3-mile section of the 7.5-mile route. Successful completion of the task persuaded him to take up road building professionally. When he retired at the age of 75, it is estimated Metcalf was responsible for overseeing the construction of around 180 miles of turnpike road in Yorkshire, Lancashire, Cheshire and Derbyshire, often across difficult ground conditions requiring innovative solutions. Metcalf ensured his roads were laid on solid foundations and were cambered for drainage. He is celebrated by a statue in his hometown of Knaresborough holding his surveyor's wheel or waywiser, a device for accurately measuring distances. In 1783, John Loudon McAdam returned to his native Scotland and bought an estate in Ayrshire, aged 27, after making a fortune in New York, working in his uncle's finance business. He became a trustee of the Ayrshire Turnpike from Ayr to Prestwick, in which role he took a keen interest in the civil engineering processes involved. This picture of a section of the turnpike features an old toll house in the distance. In 1804, after moving to Bristol, McAdam was appointed General Surveyor to the City Corporation and later Surveyor for the Bristol Turnpike Trust. His recommendations for road building were set out in response to a series of parliamentary inquiries. These included using crushed stone of different sized particles, organised in layers preparatory to compaction into a solid convex surface, a method that became known as macadamisation, copied around the world. Thomas Telford featured in our last video on the canal network. His road building work, that took up much of his later career, led to him being dubbed in a memorable pun the Colossus of Roads by poet Robert Southey. Telford built on McAdam's pioneering methods, refining the selection of material to suit specific traffic conditions. Following the Act of Union with Ireland in 1800, the need emerged for improvements to speed up the journey from London to the port of Holyhead, jumping off point for Dublin. Telford was given responsibility for carrying out the work, a task which included constructing whole new sections of highway through the north of Shropshire and across North Wales. A cast iron bridge, known as the Waterloo Bridge after the battle fought in 1815, the year it was constructed, was designed to carry the new road over the River Conwy at Betsy Coed. Telford's main challenge was spanning the Menai Strait, from the mainland to the Isle of Anglesey. His answer was the Menai Suspension Bridge, completed in 1826 and at nearly 580 feet, the longest suspension bridge in the world at the time. Telford was working on the North Wales Coast Road from Chester to Bangor at the same time, and another suspension bridge designed by him for that project opened in Conwy in the same year as the Menai Bridge. The bridge is now looked after by the National Trust and is restricted to pedestrians and cyclists. Amongst Telford's other projects were engineering the first highway across the unforgiving terrain of Arran, an island off the west coast of Scotland in the Firth of Clyde, and upgrading the route between Carlisle and Glasgow. By the 1830s, at the peak of the Turnpike era, there were more than 3,700 trusts administering 22,000 miles of road, but emerging competition in the form of railways triggered a gradual decline and the sale of assets, with responsibilities for maintenance transferring to highways boards and later to county councils. Early steam locomotives will be my subject next time. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.